everyone. Today's poem has been chosen from the book titled Beautiful Fever, written by Iris Orpi Price. And the poem that I selected is titled Temptation. Temptation is a complicated thing. Its hypothesis is built on assumptions, whose weight lies solely on temptation itself. It derives its strengths on the fact that you wouldn't be thinking it if it meant nothing to you. It's directly proportional to how much you let in. It does not push, it just sits there staring at you, which is so much worse. You never know just how much power you have over yourself until you understand that something so small can utterly mess you up, and you choose not to yield because what you have is worth everything you have, and what you could lose suddenly feels so fragile. Only you can deliver yourself. There's a streetcar named Desire parked on the curb with the engine running. I chose this poem because it made me think about the profoundness in temptation. Temptation is something that every human being is faced with at some point. And typically, a temptation doesn't offer a positive outcome. That's why you're being tempted to do something. For example, like we're here in quarantine and today is sunny out. I am so tempted to go outside. I am so tempted to just go and be one with nature and, get sunlight. But once I consider the possible outcome, once I consider who it affects and what harm it could bring, then the temptation is dubbed. Again, that's not all the time. Sometimes we may be tempted to have a donut when you're not supposed to, or maybe when you're on a diet, and then you give in. Typically, after temptation is, once you surrender to a temptation, again, it doesn't usually have a positive outcome. So for me, the next time I experience a temptation, I consider on the outcome and how it makes me feel. And I know for me, it doesn't feel good, Again, temptation is a wonderful phenomenon because it's very self-revealing. And I know at this time of isolation and quarantining that's happening all over the world, a lot of people are indoors having to face themselves. We're sitting at the table with everything about ourselves, and different things rise each day. And temptation is just, again, it's self-revealing, and it's also a teaching tool. So thank you, Iris, and thank you everyone for listening.